at home. So Shane, I'm going to let you have a chat with Jackie Marshall Clark and Carrie Ann Eiffel to find out what they're doing at the Barbados Light and Power Company.
Yeah, you called it right. Jackie Marshall Clark, the communications manager with the Barbados Light and Power Company, and Carrie Ann Eiffel, the president of the Barbados Council for the Disabled, joining me this morning to talk about all that they have been doing and the cooperation during COVID-19. Good to have two of you on the program. Good morning.
Good morning to you too, Shane.
A pleasure to see you. A pleasure to hear
And
from
you. You as always.
Yes. Jackie, let's start with you. Tell us about the Barbados Light and Power Company. Never stopped working. Can't stop working during a pandemic.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
You've made
We
sure.
didn't stop working
Yeah,
at all.
you've made
People
sure that
talk
this can
about,
still happen.
yeah, people talk about reopening, Shane, but we're talking about responsible re-entry because we haven't stopped working. The lights were still on all the while. Our call center was on 24 hours and people used us and utilized us. We worked right through COVID-19 and so happy to be there to support the customers. And I'm sure that lots of them said that they were happy to have us there at the other end answering all their queries whenever necessary.
Yeah, talk about assisting through your employees, assisting the community through your employees, and that extension working to ensure that people are managing through COVID-19.
So very important for us at Light and Power, Shane, you know, we're always talking about corporate social responsibility. And people ask, well, did it stop during COVID-19? No, it did not stop. As a matter of fact, what happened was funds that would have been planned for certain things like crop over, now canceled, would have been redirected to other things. And one of the very first things we did was give that money to the welfare department so that they could assist persons who had hardships during this period. We also stopped to take a look at our customers to make sure that we could look out for them during this period and help ease their burden at this time as they look to pay their electricity bills. Some of the things we did too, we're working with the Ministry of Education to help some students who don't have electricity but yet still need to do school online and from home. We also help at the isolation centers to make sure that we supported those persons who were critically ill during the COVID-19 period. But the part I'm going to tell you about this morning is helping in the community through our employees. And so we gave employees the opportunity to say where they're working, what they're volunteering to do, and who they want to assist. And then we gave them that support. We had one young lady who said, you know, every weekend I go buy groceries for the elderly, and so I want to do more of that, and we helped her. But this time, Joseph Murrell, and I'm sure that Carrie Ann would tell you about Joseph Murrell. Joseph Murrell is one of our differently able but highly capable employees at Light and Power, and he's been there for over 13 years. And Joseph said, I want you to help my people in this community. And so we did that. And so we have Carrie Ann this morning as well to talk about the assistance given.
Yeah, Carrie Ann, Joseph has been a star really for the Barbados Council for the Disabled and helping to promote your message about the needs of this community. Talk to us about Joseph and the work through the BCD during COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Shane. Joseph Murrell is, as you said, one of our stars, always out there. He is living proof that persons with disabilities can make positive efforts and contributions to society, being fully employed and fully embraced at Barbados Light and Power as an effective and equal member of their staff situation. Joseph is a person living with cerebral palsy who was able to attend mainstream education and now is able to do what he needs to do to continue to live his life the way he wants to live it, which is a dream of many persons with disabilities. So again, we want to really appreciate the work that Barbados Light and Power has done to continue to support persons with disabilities as we try to be who we are in this society.
Yeah, so Joseph has been championing the cause of the disabled. Talk about some of the needs that you've seen popping up that you've been trying to address during COVID-19 and how Joseph has been helping with that as well.
Well, like everybody else, COVID-19, as I said to somebody yesterday, is a great equalizer. It didn't discriminate, you know. it recognized anything that was they were ready to attack, and not just physically, but all of the other services. But for persons living with disabilities, it also our already narrow world. So a lot of the support that some persons that live in the community that aren't as fortunate as Joseph to be fully employed, those persons found themselves in a very precarious situation in terms of not being able to access food supplies, medical supplies, and that kind of situation. So Joseph, through Barbados Light and Power's employees, they got together and they donated some food hampers, which the council then distributed our affiliated organizations to some needy families across the island. And this is in addition to other supports you've been able to garner. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of those persons who have been supporting the council and persons with disabilities, including the government of Barbados. But since we're speaking specifically of Light and Power today, I just wanted to say that the work that they did helped another set of families to continue to support themselves and their children during this very uncertain period of time.
Yeah, this is a real feel-good story, Jackie, and we are glad that you, Carrie Ann, and Jackie as well have stepped up to the plate to make sure that a number of people's lives are as comfortable as possible during one of the worst things that could have hit the world in well over a century. How does this affect you, Carrie Ann, for the Barbados Council of the Disabled and the community that you represent? And Jackie, for you, how does this affect the work of the Light and Power? So Carrie Ann first, and then Jackie.
Well, how it affects us is Barbados Council for the Disabled. We've been working remotely since the 23rd of March. So our doors were closed physically, but our work never stopped because persons with disabilities, as indicated by the work Joseph and Jackie did, we're still there and we still have our needs and so on. But what it means for us is a lot of restructuring, a lot of reorganizing. We took the opportunity to look and offered, streamline them a bit to make them more effective, to make them more responsive in the new online environment. So that is one aspect of it. We moved a lot of our meetings virtually like everybody else did, but not just the business meetings, but the general meetings, because persons with this live with isolation a lot of the time. Their monthly general meetings are an opportunity for them to get out and interact with friends. So COVID-19 cut them off from a lot of that. And through using a lot of the services that the council has had, we've been able to keep some people connected as much as possible. So that was a wonderful experience as well. But the council has been continuing to do our work. We had to stress some things. We applied for the emergency care passes so that some of our staff members were still able to go on the road and support and assist. We were able to deliver the packages that we had to go to the homes of some people, but we've also implemented stringent protocols to ensure. We even went in a couple of weeks ago in anticipation of when we can open back up and completely rearrange the office to promote better social distancing. So we have been doing our part to make sure that when we do fully come back up, we've got the temperature gun, we've got different things to make sure that when people do come back in, that we can be as safe as possible. And apart from those things, there's been a lot of talk internationally about how persons with disabilities have been impacted by COVID-19, the increased violence against persons with disabilities, especially the women and girls, the challenges with child care, because everybody cannot find somebody who's willing to keep their child if they have a disability. We have the issues, again, like I said, with restrictions and isolation, the impact that that has on some categories of disabilities, deaf and needing to be able to communicate. The mask has been affecting them a lot because they lip read, a lot of them. And if they can't see your mouth, you've essentially completely deafened them because they can't communicate. For persons who are like me, blind and visually impaired, I keep saying this and people probably tired hearing me say it. I've never felt so blind in my life because I can't interact with my world the way I'm accustomed to. I can't touch things. I can't, if people in the community offer me assistance if I'm out on my own, I have to be a bit hesitant about touching them. I can't put hand shoulders, do any of those things anymore because I have to be aware of what is going on around me. So it sets us back in a lot of ways, but the council is sharing as much information as we can to help our people adjust. And we are definitely very, very hard working. We've been able to establish new partnerships, which is good. And we've been able to maintain the old networks and services. So we're still here.
Wow, amazing story there, Carrie. You're now allowing me to see a whole lot more how people like yourself have been affected by COVID-19, not being able to touch. As you see, you've never been so blind in your life. Wow, oh, I'm really lost for words here. Jackie, that means the work of the Barbados Light and Power continues to be cut out for it, because I know that you will be continuing with your assistance to the Barbados Council for the Disabled and the disabled community as a whole.
Shane, I must admit to you that I am lost for words as well. And that's why we enjoy partnerships and collaborations, because we do things, but it's often good to hear the story from another side. And in helping Carrie Ann and her team, it was really good to hear Carrie Ann's story there. And you know what? You made me say to myself, we're going to do this more. We're going to do this more often. So Carrie Ann, I just want to assure you publicly that you will always have our support. We will continue to support you, support Joseph. We also have another employee, Stephen Small, who's always very supportive of the Council for the Disabled. We have another guy who's going to be rejoining the company very soon in a differently able way, but still very capable, and we're going to welcome him. So I'm glad we spoke with Carrie Ann, and I'm glad we had this association, because she brought COVID-19 to us through completely different eyes. And I'm sure you understand that, Carrie Ann.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
I will say though, gloom over here. I told people I've been working harder now that I'm home, working from home, than I have before, because when you left work at 5 o'clock, you came home. Yes, to do other things, but you came home. But now I've been able, thank you, Light and Power, for not turning off the lights. I've been able to teach my classes online. So we've done lots of good stuff. Even my Sunday school is happy, because we've had Sunday school online every week since Palm Sunday. So it's not been all doom and gloom. It's also, I know we're probably out of time, but one of the things, very quick, it has done one major thing. It has leveled the playing field, because what it has demonstrated, Shane and Jackie, is this. Persons with disabilities, when supported in the correct way, can work. It has promoted a lot more entrepreneurship, has promoted a lot more broader thinking. And as employers had to think about, well, how am I going to do this? A lot of employers have had to revamp the way that they did business. What that has done is, the same way that I can sit from home and teach my students. I have one student who is in his late 70s, and he's eager every week to log on to the platform that we use to participate in his remote learning. I have another student who for years came to me but struggled to learn how to use computer in the National Disabilities Unit. But since COVID-19, she's downloading music, she's communicating with friends on the internet. So it's had a lot of good in that way, because we've had to be here and support and cooperate. And so Light and Power has supported us, not just but electricity stayed on, and help us to think outside of the box. So what we're hoping for is, when society reopens, that we get an opportunity to showcase even greater how much more we can participate, even in education, where schools are not remote. Shown that if we go this route, hybrid learning can be undertaken, a blended approach where students can be in the classroom. It's soul destroying for some parents that their child with a disability may not be able to train. But through my child can still be a student at the whatever school with its brothers and sisters, cousins, and other children in the community. And that way you can graduate with your friends like anybody else and feel like a real part of the community. So it's not just all been, I'm so blind now. It's wow, lessons learned.
Yeah, and amazing lessons learned indeed. by all involved, from all communities, the disabled and for the able-bodied persons as well. But one thing I hope coming out of this COVID-19 pandemic is that corporate Barbados generally also responds, and as we get jobs coming back into the workplace, they make it mandatory that people from the disabled community are eligible for a lot of these jobs as well. I really want to
From
thank
your
both
lips
of
to
you.
God's ears.
I really want to thank both of you for coming and sharing with me this morning right here on Morning Barbados. Jackie, a pleasure to see you. Carrie Ann, always a pleasure to see a Comamarian indeed. Be safe.
Up and on.
You too. Be safe.
Up and on. We'll take a break here. We got so much more to share with you on this Friday edition of Morning Barbados. And of course, Cassandra, she's in the city. We'll see what she's getting up to.
Morning, morning, morning.